The day my mother died was the day I stopped being afraid of death. Surprisingly, it was the day I started living more fully. By a show of hand, who of you here has ever wondered where we go when we die? Thank you. Many people live with a quiet fear of death. They believe it is the end of existence. But what I experienced in these final moments did not feel like an ending. It felt like homecoming. Today I want to share with you how understanding death can deeply transform the way we live our lives. My own journey with this question about death and dying started when I was undergoing a biopsy. I was waiting for a possible life-threatening diagnosis, and fear set in. That very day, something strange happened at my house. I was preparing dinner, and the front door was open for fresh air circulation when a beetle started flying in, and another one, and another one. And in minutes, dozens of them were flocking on the counter, on the walls, and the floor. I was startled, even afraid. It reminded me on Hitchcock's movie, The Birds, but this was the beetles. This evening I looked the meaning of the beetles up in Google. And in many cultures, the beetles stand for transformation, change, rebirth. And I was wondering, is this the universe's way to tell me I was going to die? And could I be at peace if it was my time to go? At this moment, I made a choice. Instead of feeding into the fear, I shifted to the attitude of gratitude, giving thanks for the little and the big things in my life, the people I love, life itself, and even the most ordinary things in life. And gratitude opened my heart, and fear made way to wonder. Little did I know what this experience was preparing me for. 2 days later, I was facing death, but not my own. I received a phone call. My mom had been in an accident. I rushed to the hospital just to find there was nobody who could answer my questions about my mother. Was she going to be okay? Do you know how it feels sitting in a hospital waiting room, waiting for news about a loved one? It's like time slows down and our world narrows and deep concern starts creeping in our chest. To keep my heart open, I started singing an ancient mantra that my mother had taught me many years ago. It is a sacred sound used for centuries to expand awareness for inner peace and calm. It's 2 letters, H-U, and it's sung like you. With my eyes closed and singing you, suddenly something extraordinary happened. In my inner sight, I saw my mother standing in a column of light, the brightest, most radiant light. It was a celestial world of peace and calm. And she was guided by a loving guidance. And death didn't look frightening. This was the moment that the way I looked at life and death changed forever. Death looked like coming to a world of overwhelming love. Minutes later, I was called into the emergency room. I saw my mother lying between the white hospital sheets. She looked fine. She only had a little bruise on her head. And I thought, oh, maybe she's okay. But the face of the doctors told a different story. She had suffered massive eternal trauma, and she was in a coma. Her soul's journey beyond this world had already begun. I sat next to her bed while she was taking her last breath and sang You. And I would like to invite you to join me to try this, just for a moment, to experience an expanded awareness and this inner peace and calm. We're going to do this 3 times. And soften your gaze or keep your eyes open, however you feel comfortable. Moments after my mother's passing, I saw her again, but not lying in a hospital bed. She was standing in the light, arms raised, joyful, and I heard her sing, I'm free, I'm free. I had seen this very joyful dance many times during my life, and it was her way to say goodbye and that everything was okay. Pierre Teilhard de Chardin said, we are not human beings living a spiritual experience. We are spiritual beings living a human experience. And noteworthy, Dr. Elizabeth Kübler-Ross has compiled over 20,000 near-death experience studies. She shares that most people who have crossed over to the other side and returned experience that consciousness exists beyond this body and beyond the mind. They discovered that our true purpose is to evolve and grow in love, kindness, and compassion. The majority of the near-death experience survivors drastically changed their career, their lifestyle, and their priorities because they understood life is not about achievements. It is about evolving into more love. For weeks, I was trying to contact my mother again in my dreams and in my contemplation. I expected her to show up. We had been close. And I wanted to know how she was doing. But she did not show up. 2 months later, I saw her again in my dream. And I said, Mom, how come I didn't see you before? I was waiting for news about you. And her answer might surprise you. She said, the place I'm at is a place of love and joy. It's a high frequency. And you were too sad. Your heart was not ready, so we couldn't meet. What I realized, heaven is not a place. It is a state of consciousness. And consciousness or soul does not die. It evolves. And our true purpose of living is to learn how to give and receive love. Because love is the very fabric of our life. Think about this. Mankind has built the most sophisticated spacecrafts to explore the outer world. We land on the moon, we fly to Mars, but what about exploring our most innermost worlds, these deeper parts of ourselves, beyond the mind, beyond our job titles, beyond our identity? Truth can be experienced, not just learned. And here's what you can do. And this is not rocket science. Take a moment or a few minutes every day to explore these inner dimensions of yourselves through meditation, contemplation, or using sacred sounds like the U. Today, I want to leave you with this thought. What if you knew without a doubt that death was not an ending, but a doorway in soul's evolution? How would you live your lives? And maybe, just maybe, understanding death is not to prepare us for dying. Maybe it is to teach us to live with an open heart and to live more fully.